Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DBF Football. And on today's episode, I have a little bit of news to share with y'all. There's a lot of people opting out of the NFL season this year, and this is just as of July 29th. There are more every single day, so be sure to check in on the website that you get your usual NFL news on Twitter. Any of that, just be sure to tune in because there are some starting opt-outs that are occurring. So let's just start this off. The Bills' starting nose tackle, I'm going to put his name up on the screen because this is a very hard name to say. Latu Tilili. I'm so sorry. But he has opted out. The Bears' nose tackle, Eddie Goldman, has also opted out, which is a sizable hit for the Bears. That defense fell off anyway, so it's whatever. The Chiefs' offensive guard, Laurent Duvernay-Tard. I apologize with these names. I really take a coat hanger to these names. I apologize. The Vikings' newest free agent addition, defensive tackle Michael Pierce, has opted out, which is a huge hit. I mean, they signed him to a really nice contract, and it kind of stinks that he's sitting out. The Patriots lose 3 starters. Donta Hightower just opted out yesterday. Marcus Cannon, the offensive tackle, and safety Patrick Chung. All 3 are starting role players, and they have all opted out. The Eagles' newest speedster wideout, Marquise Goodwin, has opted out, so Alshon Jeffrey, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and Jalen Reagor will carry that team anyway, so that's fine. The Packers wide receiver Devin Funchess, really new addition, he has opted out as well. And the offensive tackle for the New York Giants, the starting offensive tackle, Nate Soldier. The guy, he didn't have the best season in the world, but he had an alright season with the Giants, but he was a starting tackle, and he got signed to a huge contract. So, yep, those are all the opt-outs so far. And then after, I just want to talk about who is the number one pick. Who to use your number one pick is the most coveted pick in the draft, and also one of my least favorites, to be quite honest. Every year, there's a first tier with like 3 to 4 guys that have extremely high values that all alternate with going number one. So this year is more the same, of course, with McCaffrey, Barkley, and Zeke all being the cream of the crop. People can make the argument for like Dalvin Cook, Kamara, and Derrick Henry to be among this tier, but I have Derrick Henry and Kamara just one tier below, and Dalvin, he's a bust, so I don't really care about him. Dalvin Cook going number one is just absolute blasphemy to me. And anyone wanting to pick Michael Thomas ahead of any of these first-tier running backs, I would like to explain what regression to the mean is. He can't break a record every single year. It's not possible. It won't happen, okay? In my opinion, I would much rather have a later round pick and try to pick up, like Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs, and then pair with a Julio, DeAndre Hopkins, someone like that. I think that would be better than having the first pick, getting McCaffrey, getting Barkley, getting Zeke, and then you have to just pray and hope that Chris Godwin falls to you unless you're looking at Kenny Golladay, Mike Evans, a QB early, a tight end early, and I don't really like that. Or you could just go another running back, but then your team's just not balanced, and I am a huge fan of having balance, so I usually like going running back and then wide receiver, but, Golladay, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans are not my favorite guys in the world to be picking. I'd rather just wait on wide receiver. But this video isn't about them. It's about who to select with your first overall selection. If you came in last season, sorry about it, but or if you pulled a piece of paper out of a hat that had number 1 on it, congratulations, you have the number 1 pick. So let's talk about who should you select first overall. Like, you really can't go wrong with any of them, but let's just count them down. Christian McCaffrey had an incredible season, one of the best fantasy seasons I have ever seen. He was obviously the best fantasy player. The guy had over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards receiving, over 1,000 yards rushing, of course. I think he had about 2,400 yards with many touchdowns. So, I mean, obviously, amazing player. He is a true workhorse. He is the best player at the running back position and the best player at the wide receiver position because he just does everything. He really does. He's the main option for on the ground and through the air. So you really can't go wrong with Christian McCaffrey, but this incredible success will not be repeated by him this year. He's last in this first overall tier, but really you can't go wrong with him. I mean, he's a beast. But number 1 guys, this is just me. Number 1 guys never repeat, and I don't think he's going to repeat. The next guy I want to talk about is Ezekiel Elliott. Now, this guy is in an incredibly unique situation. He has always been super reliable. He has always been healthy. I think he's missed like 1 game and then with suspension, more games. And he's came in top 5 repeatedly every single year that he didn't have the suspension. So he's always one of the safer first round picks. But an even crazier thing with him is that he might not have to run against stacked boxes every single play next year. They have so many weapons on that offensive side of the ball. Hopefully it just completely elevates Ezekiel Elliott's game and he still gets his 300 carries against non-stacked boxes. That man's going to go absolutely bananas. Great O-line, talent all around him. I think Zeke could have his best season yet. But I do see his upside being capped because of this huge influx of talent and also his receiving upside. He just isn't as involved in the passing game because he really doesn't need to be. He gets 300 carries. He's not really that much of a talent out of the backfield. He is good out of the backfield, but he's just not great. So he's not going to get you 100 catches like Christian McCaffrey or Saquon Barkley will get you. So let's talk about Saquon Barkley, and that is the number 1 guy from me, at least this year. Now, of course, I had Barkley number 1 before his offensive tackle opted out of the season, but I still think that he's going to come out on top. He has a very talented O-line, even though Nate Soldier is, of course, opting out. And he has a quarterback that is poised to take another step. This is an emerging offense, and this is a guy on an emerging offense, and I want all the stock in it. He has all the tools, okay? He has home run ability. Like Jukes, he's an extreme talent with the ball in his hands. Incredible receiving ability as well. He is a young, great player. His ceiling really has no cap. I think he will have his best season this year and return back to first in standard and PPR. Just like 2 years ago, he came in first. He's going to do it again. He is that good. I mean, the guy was top 10 still during a sophomore slump and with missing games. So I think, for me, he is the top pick. Now, if you want safety with a ceiling that is probably capped, he's still going to be top 5, but it's capped. I don't think he gets to number 1. Go Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, he is an incredibly safe pick, and he'll get you your 15 a game. He will be the number 1 running back that you need. But if you want a guy that has just extreme upside, take Saquon Barkley, because I think he has a little chip on his shoulder, and the offense is getting even better and better. I think he goes crazy this year, and I think he is the number 1 pick. But really, you should be happy with if you get any of these guys, especially if you have the 3rd overall pick or the 4th overall pick and one of these guys falls to you. Like, just be happy, okay? Just say thank you very much and take your championship and then walk out. So that will do it. Thank you all so much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe. And good luck on your fantasy season this year.